Kobolds are so efficient at reproduction. How come goblins haven't outnumbered them at this point? And all this lore is coming from the world where my mangas, The Night of Slaves and Devil's Deal takes place in, so let's jump into it. And all this lore is coming from the mating manual, which you can support by grabbing a Ruby Gold sub or getting an original character into the breeding guide as a diamond tier. And the first thing to understand this question between the goblins and the kobolds is the fact that the goblins do not reproduce nearly as fast as the kobolds at first. And that's because kobolds have the ability to reproduce females at 8 months and males at 10 months. And then gestation is only a short 3-month period. And they have the ability to produce about 8 to 15 kobolds at a time. And if we look at the numbers from the breeding teams, that seems like a lot of kobolds at first, but wait until you hear about the post-birth complications and just natural selection, and we'll talk about how many actually typically become adults. So out of the 13 births that were reserved, only 11.5 kobolds born per birthing, which means that there were 149 kobolds born, but 26 of them died within the first week. And 6 of them came out stillborn. 15 of them died due to crumples, which is also known as the shaking heart disease. And it's effectively where during the actual birthing process, the heart starts to really vibrate to the point that the body cannot keep up and actually ends up shaking the baby on the inside and ends up basically going into cardiac arrest. And that's called crumples. And out of the 11.5 kobolds that are typically born, 5 of them end up passing away due to basically fighting other kobolds. And kobolds, by the way, are baby kobolds. And so even though 8 to 15 kobolds are basically born, only 2 to 4 of them will end up making it to adulthood. And that's also factoring in the fact that during hunts that they could get killed and stuff like that. But it is okay because the fallen kobolds will end up usually either getting eaten by their siblings or by other kobolds to basically refresh the energy that was used to basically give them birth. Now let's talk about the goblins, which is a lot more morbid, and I will have to give trigger warnings for this. This is a non-SA type of birth, but it is still forced birth. So goblins went from being a very sentient race to basically being what we traditionally know in media, thanks to the elves and the orcs launching that biological DNA bomb at them in order to stop the goblins from becoming a major predominant race in the world stage. And big props if you can identify the original source of these propaganda posters. So at the very beginning for the goblins, whenever they are starting to build up a little brood, they will snatch human, dwarf, and orc women, and if they can get their hands on a Brimborn, they will kill for a Brimborn. And they will take them back. They will not essay them. They will put them in a pool of mixed materials such as semen, water, and some gum sap. And they will let the women effectively stew, almost like a crock pot situation.